Welcome back to the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the lab. We are going to talk about the coding things, and whatever we have learned from the chapter one, we are going to implement here. We have seen about block type like provider, resources, all those blocks will be using here. But to start with that, we have to set up something as the first time, or maybe you are writing it for the first time. So you have to have some kind of a setting. So this is kind of a configuration that we need to provide, which will instruct the Terraform to execute accordingly. So what I'll do is I'm using WebStorm for this series demonstration. You can use any editor as per your choice. Editor is not a concern here, but the advantage of using WebStorm is all the supported files or IntelliSense is little better. That is my choice only, but I think it is also available in Visual Studio Code, so you can use that freely. So what I'll do is I'm going to tell my script to have a Terraform block. Basically this block is about having settings about Terraform. So inside this block we have a certain parameter which is called required version, which will let your Terraform version to be set according to the expression. So I'm going to set like 1.0.7, and I'm saying keep the version at least 1.0.7 or the greater than this version if anything new comes up. And I've told you about the initial lecture that we can, for having the new set of parameter, we have to use the new line. So I'm going to have the new line. The entire series we are going to talk about the AWS. So for provider has to be installed, so all those setting information needs to be provided here. So the another set of block is called required providers, which will ask us about what kind of a provider you are going to use. And for my case, I'm going to use the AWS. There's a two way to write it. Either you can have it like this way, or you can have it like AWS version and the source where it should be downloaded from. So all the source is already targeted to the ASIC, but if you have your own set of providers, you want to point it, you can reference it using the second way. So I'm going to comment it out. I'll go with the first approach now. And you have watched about the Terraform command in the previous chapter. So I hope you have watched that. If you forget, if you missed to watch that lesson, I have given the link in I button. Please go and watch those lectures because it is very important to start with the lab session. So I'm going to format it for now, and I'm going to run my command terraform it. As you know, the init command is something which does the initialization on the basic on the initialization on your local system, and every time you run or execute something or any changes you detect, you think any changes into the specifically to the Terraform site has been done, the Terraform itself will let you know whether you have to run the Terraform init command or not. Maybe you can check it against. It says reusing the previous version from the dependency log file. Okay, so now it created .terraform where it will keep all the providers related information, all the plugins basically I would say has been downloaded, it will be stored here. But if you go from this place to another place and you do the terraform init, the if this .terraform is present, then it will be used, otherwise it will be skipped. Okay, so this is the first thing we have done about our Terraform, that we have set our version, Terraform version. We have told the Terraform to download the AWS provider so we can get the benefit of the API, and the version for the AWS will we did 3.5 50.0. Now we'll start with the resource block. So resource block, as you know, the resource block is something which start with the resource, the name of API, the IntelliSense we already get. So what I'll say is AWS for us S3 bucket and the name of identifier. You can say this, you can say primary as per your choice. As you know, the block expression has certain parameters, as per the API. I said the resource block is completely depend upon the plugins expose method. So if I use, this is using the bucket preference. For example, if I go to the another set of, you know, method, then the parameters required inside that block can be different. Something like that. So this is how this resource block depends upon the exposed EC2 client before endpoint. So the blocks are different. So the similar way we can write a variable block and the name of variable. For example, I can say it's a bucket name and the type is going to be string and the description is like having a unique bucket name. I'm going to say it is sensitive or not, so I can have this flag, but by default it is already false. By default it is already false, so we can escape it. Do you want to have any kind of a validation? So you can have the validation block here, and you can say condition is false or error message. So I'm just demonstrating you haven't the bucket name is not valid. So okay, so I'm using the editor formatting, but we have seen the Terraform formatting, so we will use Terraform format command to format it into the better way. Okay, so now it got formatted main.tf, and if you look at the variable section, we have defined as a string. It is a description and the validation block and all that stuff, but the default value is missing, which means this variable is required to execute with this configuration set of instruction. So what I'll do is I'll start with the Terraform plan to check what it says about. It says the bucket name is not valid because I have explicitly says the bucket name has to use. So what I can do is I'll just make it false. We'll see about this validation part later lecture. So I have kept it as a false, so I'll just remove this block because it is unused. And now I'll try to run the same command again. Okay, so now it is asking about uh, the variable name because it is required one. So we have to provide, otherwise it will be failed. Cool. So I'll run the Terraform plan again and we'll let you know the issue. So because this is not the right command, so let me run it run again. So it is asking about the variable name as we have made it restricted one, but what I'll do is I'll type something as a text name and we'll input them and we'll hit the enter button. So now it is saying about some region provider.aws.region. So try to reference this provider block. Each block has some significance. So now we have seen about the provider block is like a plugin related settings. So here when we say Terraform block, it is about the Terraform settings which will have all the settings related to the Terraform. But most of the services in AWS is region specific. Hence, this provider, basically the AWS provider, is asking about that information. So we need to have the provider defined here, and we can say AWS. And the reason is US West 2 or any other reason as per choice. We can have multiple provider settings defined using alias. So I will say alias US is one, reason US is one. Similar way you can have all other. So this is the about region setting, but we can have more information like access key, access secret key, all the information that you want to know. It has all the information. We will not think about this part. We will see this thing into the next lecture when we actually start provisioning the resources on AWS. So we will think about this that time. Okay, so I have given this one like AWS region. As of now, I have not given anything specific to the credentials, so it's not going to work because in Terraform using plugin or provider, it is like a API interaction. And from AWS side, if you want to do some API instruction, then you have to have access key and secret key defined. So we'll see into the next lecture. We had talked about this resources provider, and the next one is like output block. So we can write output, the name of uh, the the name or like identifier you want. So I would say it's a bucket name, and the value could be from the resources block. So it could be like AWS S3 bucket, then expose API name dot the name of identifier which is defined against your resource block, and what information you want to get. So some API exposed some information. For example, this S3 bucket has exposed this information. So you can know about ARN, you can know about bucket, domain, and other things. So for example, I want to know the bucket domain name. So I can say my output is going to look like this one. So after execution, when the plan gets finished, I will have the bucket domain name. No, I will get the bucket domain name after finishing all the execution. The third one in the variable segment was locals. So we can say locals, the bucket name prefix is going to be like S3. Or we can use the function format code arg. And the next set of variable could be var dot bucket name. Now, if you see the local section, I have used combination of hard-coded values plus the dynamic values, which is getting received as a part of bucket name. And now I can reformat it, and that will be used to create the bucket name. So now I have created locals output variable resources. What I'll do is I'll use this bucket, full bucket name. I'll name it as a full bucket name. Now I can use it as here to create the name. So I can say local dot full bucket name. So what does it mean is the order is different here. The writing order is different here. But if you see what does it mean, resource block is dependent upon local temporary variable, and temporary local variable full bucket name is dependent upon this variable bucket name. Okay, so I can have more name if you want, the CloudFront or something name like this, or you can say static. So this way we can define the locals block. So this is all for this lecture. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.